Hi, you're sewing with Cody, and in this video I am going over another type of applique technique. In my other video we did a blanket stitch, raw edge applique with the number 20 foot. Now I am doing a satin stitch. So this is essentially covering up that raw edge. So this is giving you more of an embroidered applique look. So I am using foot number 23, which is my applique foot. So this foot is really neat because underneath the foot there's a canal that's dug up from on the foot. So the center of the foot is raised. So that satin stitch that you can see created here will glide right underneath the foot, keep it in line and prevent it from getting caught underneath the foot. I'm also using stitch number 1354, which is a built-in satin stitch. What's awesome about this stitch is that it fits perfectly under this foot. Because this foot, if you can see, I'll try to zoom in. So the foot has that little canal right there. This stitch is the perfect width. Everything is perfect about this stitch in conjunction with foot number 23. And it just creates a beautiful satin stitch, which covers up that raw edge. So as long as you keep that raw edge in between those two little guides, it will be perfect and cover up that raw edge of your fabric when you're working with the applique. So the same thing applies here. We are using a Microtex 8012, but you can definitely use a 7511 or 8012 non-stick needle to prevent any of the glue that we use to stitch down the iron down the fabric of our applique pieces. That glue won't build up on those non-stick needles. I'm using Isacord embroidery thread, which is a 40-weight polyester, the same thread that we would use if we were doing embroidery on the embroidery side of the machine. And I'm using Deco Bob in the bobbin, which is what I pretty much use in the bobbin for just about everything. So it allows those stitches to create beautifully on the top and the bottom without creating a lot of bulk. And same thing applies here. We're using our freehand system so we can easily pivot when we need to. The technique's a little bit different than with the blanket stitch. We want to keep a constant speed, and when we do make the corners, we want to sometimes, especially some of these sharper corners, kind of hold back the fabric because we want to maintain a satin stitch and we don't want it to become a zigzag at all. It takes practice, but with stitch number 1354, the built-in satin stitch, and foot number 23, it makes it so much easier. All right, hopefully you enjoy doing some applique with foot number 23 and satin stitch number 1354. All right, happy sewing.